This polar bear was trying to find food in the haystacks. He had not eaten for a long time. The ice-free summer had deprived them of the food they needed to survive. Now their survival depended entirely on the fat they had accumulated last winter, but they were now scrawny and scrawny. If they did not eat, they would probably starve to death here, but there was no food nearby. But he ignored that beluga whales didn't seem to be so easy to hunt, and after flapping in the water for a long time, they still found nothing. Beluga whales were different from most marine creatures, and their necks were very flexible, so they could easily detect the existence of polar bears while rotating. The polar bears that didn't catch their prey didn't want to stop there, and still searched back and forth in the water to maneuver, but every second in the water wasted precious physical strength. For him, who was very hungry, if he didn't succeed this time, then he probably wouldn't be able to survive this summer. It seemed impossible to capture platinum on such a wide water surface. At this moment, he found a raised reef, which gave him some breathing opportunities. Standing on the reef condescending, it also gave him more opportunities to find a target. Although he failed, as the saying goes, failure is the mother of success. Once he failed, he returned to the reef and continued to wait for the opportunity. On this narrow reef, he attacked again and again, but it didn't stop him from hunting. Although he was very tired at the moment, he still believed that he could succeed. His wait was not in vain. A beluga whale was gradually approaching here, and the polar bear found the right opportunity to rush into the water. This time, it finally succeeded. Although the beluga whale was rich in fat without the adult beluga whale, it could at least maintain his life for a period of time. Fortunately, the mother, with a keen sense of smell, sensed the threat from the wolves 8 kilometers away. At this moment, the cute little guys were not fully aware of the seriousness of the danger. They just followed their mother mindless and ran forward. But it happened that this natural desire to follow saved their lives. Soon, a piercing wolf howl resounded in the snow, and the cubs who felt the danger also quickened their pace of escape. With no walking experience, the little guy slipped on the ice, but he didn't dare to stop. The little guy who fell behind lost his chain. Fortunately, the mother turned back in time to comfort the little guy, which gave him the courage to set foot on the ice again. This crisis was also lifted when the smell of the polar bear family disappeared into the range of the wolves. With years of experience, the mother bear bypassed the location of the wolf pack and successfully reached the frozen ocean. For the next 4 months, the polar bear family will have been weaving through the ice, heading northeast. The ice contains the food they need. For the past 8 months, the mother polar bear has been surviving on the fat she accumulated last year. Whether they can find their first meal now is also the key to their family's survival. The ice on the sea is a natural hunting ground for polar bears, and adult polar bears can smell seals from 30 kilometers away. As a high-fat animal, seals are also the first choice for polar bears to hunt. Although the mother bear has not hunted for a long time, his hunting experience is not sharp at all. The hunting season is short, and in order for the cub to survive successfully, the mother bear must maintain the chance of hunting success. After 2.5 months, as the temperature rose, the ice began to melt gradually, and the food that could be hunted became less and less. There were 2 again, and now there was only 1 left, and the only one was dying of hunger. The surrounding ice surface was also melting little by little, and the prey that could be caught became less and less. The mother didn't want to give up the child easily. He chose to continue hunting in the water. Now there are cracks in the ice, and the prey can easily run underwater to hide. The mother polar bear is very lucky to have a success every 10 hunts. As the rate of warming gradually accelerates, the hunting season is directly shrinking. There is really not much time left for the polar bear family in a month. Realizing this, the mother polar bear is ready to return to land immediately. More than 2 months ago they came on foot, but now they can only swim back. But if they are parading 160 kilometers again, it is definitely impossible to go back. So the smart mother polar bear chose to take the express train. And they got on the floating ice, which can save a lot of effort. After floating for a long time, the mother polar bear smelled the smell of land, and the trip was coming to an end soon. He led the child to swim a distance, and was able to reach land. However, before the mother and son arrived at the shore, there were already similar species waiting here. Due to the melting of the ice, they were forced to come here to roost. A large number of platinum came to this sea every year. Although the early melting of the ice made them lose the opportunity to hunt seals, the arrival of platinum was also a good choice. For this reason, they also learned a new way of hunting, standing on the rocks and waiting for the arrival of platinum. While this group of polar bears was hunting, the mother and son had already reached the shore. Although the current polar bear mother really wanted to return to the nest, the delicious smell of platinum still made the mother decide to take a risk. Hunger made him forget the danger, and he snatched some food from the mouths of his own kind. Fortunately, his own kind were immersed in the delicious food and did not attack them because of it. After crossing all odds and dangers, the mother bear finally led her child back home. For many species, raising offspring is not an easy task. But there is always a mother who loves him, who will silently give selflessly.